I'm Sai Kalyan Meghavath, one of the 32 Changemakers at the F.A.I.R Project 2023, and I extend a warm welcome to all of you to join me for my showcase. Before we proceed, let's kick things off with a thought-provoking quote from someone I deeply admire. The quote goes like this: "Your work is going to fill a large part of your life, and the only way to be truly satisfied is to do what you believe is great work. And the only way to do great work is to love what you do." Can you take a guess at who shared these profound words? It was none other than the visionary co-founder of Apple, Steve Jobs. As some of you may know, Steve Jobs had actually dropped out of college, contrary to societal expectations of completing his education before seeking a job. Now, what if Steve Jobs had succumbed to those beliefs and had chosen to complete his education instead? Do you think we would have had Apple today? With that in our minds, let's delve into the heart of today's topic: embrace your heart's desires, defying societal expectation for true happiness. Let me pose a situation to all of you watching this video. Imagine waking up on the last day of your life and realizing that the life you have been living was not truly yours. That every decision you made, every path you took, was shaped by the expectations and opinions of others and the fear of failing if you take the road not taken that others had instilled in you. Would you be okay knowing that you could have made choices you wanted to and led a much better and a more fulfilling life, just like you dreamt of? Let's explore a scenario that reflects the dilemmas we all encounter at various points in our lives. Imagine you find yourself on a sun-soaked beach craving a refreshing ice cream. You approach a nearby ice cream stall and you're presented with an array of vibrant colors, each representing a different flavored ice cream. However, you have no clue which flavor corresponds to each color. Now, here's the dilemma. How would you choose your ice cream? Would you select based on your favorite color, assuming it matches your taste preference, or would you seek the advice of the person selling the ice cream to you? Let's say you decide to rely on the ice cream seller's recommendation, hoping they know what you would like. But alas, as you take your first bite, you realize it's not the flavor you were hoping for. You find yourself disappointed because what they thought you might enjoy is not necessarily what resonates with your own taste buds. Now consider this. If you had the opportunity to buy another ice cream, perhaps you would try a different flavor and adjust your choice accordingly. But what if you were limited to just one option? What would you do? Would you go with your gut and choose what you believe is the right flavor and taking ownership of your decision? Or would you surrender your choice to others, risking the chance of ending up with a flavor that fails to satisfy your craving? Reflect on this ice cream dilemma and consider which outcome you would prefer to live with. A decision you made based on your own desires, or the one made by others that didn't align with your taste. The choice is yours to make. Growing up in a typical middle-class Indian household like mine, I understand the immense influence parents have on our lives. They guide us with the best intentions, believing that certain paths will lead to a happy and successful future. They say things like, study till 10th and it's a smooth ride after that, or clear JEE or NEET and your future is set. And while their intentions are never wrong, we need to acknowledge that the world we live in today is vastly different from what our parents experienced during the time. In this dynamic and rapidly evolving world, new innovations and opportunities emerge at an unprecedented pace. From smartphones and social media to cutting-edge technologies like chatbots and cryptocurrency, the landscape of possibilities has expanded exponentially. In such a context, we have the freedom to explore and pursue our passions by acquiring the necessary skills through the channels available today like YouTube. Now let me ask you a powerful question. If I asked you to speak for 15 minutes about your mom, dad, or someone close to you, you would likely have a lot to say about them, their likes, their qualities, and their experiences. But what if I asked you to speak about yourself for the same duration? Many of us, myself included, would find it challenging to articulate our own interests and aspirations. We would rarely take time to question ourselves and understand what truly brings us joy and fulfillment in our day-to-day lives. That's why I want to emphasize that life is what we make of it. We have the power to choose the path that leads us to the happiest version of ourselves. We have the opportunity to create a legacy of our own, shaped by our own unique desires and dreams. Even if every choice we make along the way turns out to be wrong in the eyes of others, we can find solace in the fact that they were our choices to make. Regret is far more bearable when we take ownership of our decisions rather than allowing others to make them for us. More often than not, we tend to take decisions based on what others influence us to take up and try to choose them in search of the so-called terminated happiness, which is short-lived. We tend to be people pleasers and perform actions that we feel might please others. We tend to make choices that are not best suited for us in the search of external validation. Unfortunately, we miss out on the instrumental happiness that comes from within, where we are truly satisfied with our lives. We rarely take the time to ask ourselves important questions like, what is my purpose? What do I like doing? What is the impact that I would like to have on this world by the end of the time? What if I told you that there's a magnificent version of you that exists in the future? Someone who has fought to find purpose and is now doing something that only they could have done in this world before dying. Someone who has created their own legacy. Would you take that path? We tend to label decisions as good or bad and the possible outcomes as good or bad without taking in the bigger picture. Instead, why not try and label decision as one better than the other? If we take a decision that's not the best one, it's only an opportunity for us to learn and understand ourselves better. One who doesn't make mistakes is someone who never really learned anything. I encourage the audience to adopt a growth mindset and look at their mistakes and faults as opportunities for growth. I know what you might say, Sai, it's not easy to go with what we want. We have so much at stake right now and you won't understand. Maybe I don't fully understand your circumstances, but I believe that you can try and fight for what you want. It may not happen overnight, but by taking small steps daily, you can move towards a more satisfying and a happy life. What do you have to lose? Life is a flowing river of opportunities. If life has dealt you a destiny you don't want, why not fight for the one you want? In our world, we tend to get influenced and compare our situations with others on social media platforms and the people around us. What we fail to understand is that we ourselves are our true competitors. We need to compare ourselves only with the person we were yesterday and before that. By focusing on our true strengths and weaknesses, we can thrive in this competitive world and discover what we truly want. I encourage the audience to fight for what they truly want and not give up at any point of time, sacrificing their happiness. There is no age barrier or situational barrier that should hold us back. We can always try to move towards a more satisfying and a happy life. I urge people to think about yet another quote from a person that I admire, and I leave it up to the audience to guess who this person is. The quote goes like this: I know of no better life purpose than to perish in attempting the great and the impossible. Maybe all of this still doesn't resonate with you. So let's come back to the situation I posed to you at the very beginning. Imagine you're at your deathbed with your family around and you know that in a few minutes you'll be gone forever from this world. All the possibilities and choices cease to exist today, at that right moment. Now a divine being floats into your room. Just before finally taking you to peace, they bring you back to this exact moment, this exact day, this exact moment. They show you that only if you had chosen to follow your heart from this moment on, you would have been someone different. You would have experienced the happiness you longed for and left behind a remarkable legacy. God shows you what you truly could have achieved, the happiness you could have experienced, and the legacy you could have left behind if only you had followed your heart. I pose the question to the viewers: what is true hell if it's not God showing you what you could have achieved but haven't due to the short-lived happiness and decisions made by others for you? What are you afraid of? Death? Aren't you already experiencing a slow death by not choosing the path of happiness? You have just one life. What are you afraid of? Through this conversation, my goal is not to tell you to leave everything and pursue something that you want without any plan. My goal is to encourage you to take small and actionable steps every day to seek the happiness you want for yourself, free from influence of others. Remember, life is what you make of it. Embrace your heart's desires and defy societal expectations. Choose the path that leads you to your own true happiness, for it is only through your own choices that you can discover a life filled with fulfillment and purpose. Thank you.